Welcome back. I'm Brandon, the HBAR Bull, and as you might know, I do some contract work for the HBAR Foundation. Today, we welcome Patrick, co-founder of Earthlings, for another deep dive into Hedera gaming. Thanks for coming, Patrick.
Well, thanks for having me over here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. I've been looking through your white paper. I've been looking through some of your graphics, and I'm sincerely impressed with what you guys have going.
Well, that's a big compliment coming from you. Thank you so much. I guess it's because we started out as a designing company. That's my background. So maybe that makes all the difference. Let's hope so.
Yeah, I think so. Well, to kick it off, could you just start by telling us about yourself and the Earthlings team?
Yeah, of course. Well, my name is Patrick, 45, live in France now. Actually, I'm Dutch. You can hear by my accent, I think. And I had a designer company together with my brother for like 20 years in the Netherlands. And after 20 years, I decided to move to France for different reasons, living the quiet life on the countryside here actually now. But I did miss working alongside with my brother and having colleagues because I'm still in the designing business on my own. But just alone, I'm a people person. So I wanted to work more with other people again. And since my brother and I are both crypto enthusiasts, yeah, that's the right way to say.
Enthusiast, yeah.
Yes, so not my first language, mind you. So we did invest a bit in crypto as well. We saw the whole blockchain technology grow, and we do believe that the blockchain is here to stay. And then we got the NFT hype coming. But we didn't really always understand why people were investing like a million for a piece of art, digital art, first burning it in real life. To me, that's I really don't understand that. They burn it on camera and then sell it as an NFT. Mm-hmm. So that didn't make sense. But then Metaverse and Play to Earn came more into the picture. And that did make sense to me because then you've got these NFTs with real value connected to the game. So that was something that I did like. I bumped into some projects, started talking to them, then I really got a bit of the Play to Earn Metaverse fever and wanted to do something together with my brother, because when digging into it a bit more, we saw where things, in our humble opinion, could be done a bit better sometimes, because we saw in this little bull run that we had, well, actually a good bull run last year, that a lot of projects grew just on hype. We saw projects who had no white paper and sold out. Some had a white paper, but you need to be a professor to understand it.
Sure.
They sold out, or they looked like they were made in Word. Other things, they had no design whatsoever, no website even, sold out, no storyline, no transparency. All these things were missing, and they sold out. So we looked at each other saying, we can do this maybe better. So I started writing the white paper. Marcel started designing the logo and the white paper design, of course, as well. And we said, if we can check all these boxes and do this better, then maybe we can come up with a great concept and a great gameplay. We needed Jorgo, a friend of ours, we've known him for like 20 years as well, to join as well, because we said we can't do this with a programmer, because we think the technology, well, it's a big part of course of what we're building. So we showed Jorgo what we were doing, and he was hooked right away from day one. And he's a crypto enthusiast as well. So that's where the founders started. We love gaming, we love crypto, we love setting up new things. And then we had the first three team members. Then Marcel got the marketing team together. He had some nice contacts. I spent a lot of time finding some great 3D builders who wanted to join as well. And we found them. You can find all the names on the team page. And then when we went live, only a couple of weeks ago, actually, 2 days after, we met Milan. And he's really an all-round person, knows everything about Hedera. And he was a very welcome asset to the team as well. The final one, the community. We see the community as a team member as well, actually as the fourth founder, because without community, you can't do this. And what a welcome we had on the Hedera in the Hedera community. It's really been an amazing ride so far since we launched.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you have a crack team, including the
Yeah.
community. I know they can be really helpful as well. But let's get into it. So, can you now run us through this Earthlings game?
Yeah, well, you read the white paper, and of course I encourage everyone to do it because there's so much to tell about it. So I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Earthlings, it's a metaverse play to earn. You find yourself 400 years from now, in a steampunk, family-friendly and fantasy world-like environment. And the setting is what happens. We had the next World War. Politicians really destroyed the whole earth with their continuously battling each other, country against country, and we find ourselves in a world where most people, well, are not around there anymore, and we had to restart. Mm-hmm. So that's the setting, actually. But because most of technology is now gone, we had to step back a bit, and that's where we had this steampunk influence that we're adding to the game. Not overly steampunk, so it's not this dark steampunk, because you can get there easily, but that's not what we're doing. And there are no boundaries anymore, actually. It's just one world united, as we say. It's not like I live in the US, I live in Europe, I live in Russia. No, it's more provinces of the world. So we're inhabitants of the world, we live on the world, and it's the province of Russia, the province of Europe, the province of America. So we have New Paris, New Moscow, New York. So these main cities will play a key role. And what we want to really empathize is that the people, that they don't want all this mess that we see in the world. You know, we just, and in gaming, you see that more than ever, that people just come together to have fun. And we don't look at each other as being from this country or that country or this religion or that religion. So we really like to be neutral and just have fun together and actually show the world out there that it is possible. Mm-hmm. So we hope that everyone who joins this will be the people that agree with this. So yeah, what can you do then in this play to earn? Well, we will start off with simple gameplay. For instance, you go around the map, the big map, look for lost technology, because that's the simple thing that we're going to start with. And this lost technology comes in the form of NFTs. For instance, you find this piece of tech, you can bring it to a tech shop that you may own, by the way, or owned by someone else, and you can trade your tech for the in-game token. Mm-hmm. Or because psychic animals, you read the white paper, psychic animals are a big part in the play as well. You find new psychic animals, and you can use your lost tech to upgrade your animal or maybe your airship or whatever. So we're going to connect a lot of things together, and all the NFTs will have real in-game use cases. And besides this, we will add more gameplay later on, and there will be amazing things where we have no fighting, no zombies, no spiritual things. So really everyone can play in there without any bad feelings, and you can have your kids in there if they're allowed to have a wallet. We'll see about that later, but no, everyone can play. So that's what we really would like to do. But still, it will be filled with adventure. It won't be boring, I promise you that.
All right. It sounds like a blast. What else makes Earthlings different?
Well, we have a very different concept already. We like to believe that most metaverse and play to earn games. We also tried to implement a playing mechanism that we believe can solve the gamer's dilemma. And what is the gamer's dilemma then? Well, the thing is, people who step in early are usually the ones buying the plots, buying the NFTs now. But this group is usually not the group that's going to play the game. So what we saw head on already is that you have these empty metaverses because plot owners are not gamers, not always. Of course, sometimes they are. So you've got like 100,000 plots, and no one is playing games, but you want your metaverse to swarm with activity. Mm-hmm. So how do you solve it? How do you bring the two together? What we did is we found a way. We believe we found a way that later on, when the game opens, gamers will not feel like they're late, but they will feel like they're going to complete the game. It's going to be fun for them, and we're going to incentivize the plot holders. And how we're going to do that is still a surprise, to really connect to this group and bring them in, and they will strengthen each other using each other's capabilities or items or whatever. I'm not going to say too much, but we found a way to bring them together and to strengthen each other without the plot owners feeling disadvantaged. Because that's something that you can see happening quite easily if you give gamers some advantages that they don't have. So more about that in a couple of months, because if I tell everything now, then others might run away with it as well.
No, completely understood. But, no matter what kind of community that you're building, it always makes sense to try to make sure everybody's pulling in the same direction and everybody's incentivized.
I've got one thing. Sorry for that. Another different thing is that you can be a bank owner. I mentioned it, I think already or not, or a train station owner, a taxi driver. So we're going to create real in-game jobs.
Sure.
And that's something that I wanted to emphasize as well. Yeah.
So what attracted you to build on Hedera?
Well, that's an easy one, actually. First, we looked at another blockchain, sorry for that, because it didn't have our first attention, but we found that it was almost impossible to build on. So, because that's where our lead developer, of course, came in again. And so I told him, okay, so we're building this. How about this one? He looked at it and he said, no, that's not gonna work. So he came with another blockchain that I really didn't like, because to me it felt like a hype-driven blockchain, and not really safe to build on. So the next one on my list was Hedera, because I knew of it, but he didn't, not yet back then at least. So he said, yeah, I'll look into it. It was on spot 36 back then on the list. He said, how come I never heard of it? It's actually ridiculous being on 36. So anyway, he looked into it and he loved it. Within like half an hour, he said, this is so programmer friendly. So the more he looked at it, the more he loved it. And from there on, of course, we all started looking more and more to the Hedera ecosystem, and we loved it more and more. And ever since we started building on it, since we are communicating a lot with the community as well, we love it more every day. It's a great system.
Fantastic. So one of the reasons I know I'm shocked as well that, we're still sitting at 36 or at 40 or wherever we're sitting today. But I mean, Hedera does it differently. Instead of incentivizing people or using their treasury to incentivize people to buy the token, they use it to incentivize people like you, the builders in the space. And that may not pay off early on, but I think in the long run it will.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But that's also something that I see, the way they are now investing in a bear market. I think we can call it a bear market now, can we?
I think so. I think so.
Some really wanted to still not believe that. But anyway, so what they're doing now in a bear market, it's amazing. And I think on the long run, they will come out as one of the winners. I think there's some blockchains in the top 15 or the top 10 that I think, why are they there? I think in the coming 2-3 years, Hedera will be up there as well.
Yeah, I think the cream will rise. That's what's going to happen eventually. So talking about, your developers and coming and starting to use Hedera, how has your developers' experience been with integrating Hedera into your game?
Yeah, so that's actually going forward on the question that you already asked about. What I said about our lead developer, because when he started building, it took him literally just a few days to get used to the whole system. It was amazing. Where I was still stressing, okay, are we going to get this mint up and running? And he was saying, no, Patrick, don't worry. I'm not there yet, but I'm looking at it, and they've got everything. You've got the community helping out each other as well. So it's very, very funny because Milan, who joined the team last, he was so surprised about Jorgo picking up the programming so fast. But I don't think it's just your hoe. It's also because, as he said, you just make it easy for programmers. So big shout out to Hedera on that side as well.
Yeah, for sure. Another team that's actually making things a little bit easier for you is Dropper. Can you explain your partnership with Dropper?
Yeah, well, as I said, actually, we initially we wanted to do the NFT infrastructure ourselves, and we were actually ready to go and mint the first items, the founder cards, and airdrop them to the first winners. And then our paths crossed with Dropper. So we started talking with them. And if you hear Eric talk about his project, there's no way you can't get enthusiastic about it. He's very enthusiastic about his project as well. The thing is, every Web3 startup spends a lot of time and energy, of course, in building their Web3 infrastructure. And by having them do this for us, we can concentrate more in building the game and designing the game. And I have a lot of things to do for our developers anyway, so it makes sense. But it's important to stress as well that Dropper isn't just an NFT launchpad. The thing is, they're really working towards a whole gaming transaction infrastructure. So they're more than that. And if you talk to Eric, you will get enthusiastic about it right away. So, but go look at that project. Well, you know it, of course, but
Sure.
Asking to the other people, go look at that project and see for yourself. It's a great thing that they're building.
Sure. So how can people get involved with Earthlings?
Yeah, that's actually quite an easy question because just come over to Discord, follow us on Twitter. We're still doing a lot of free giveaways because we really value our early members, and we like to show that. But also we do fun stuff like voting on items. We really try to listen to the community. We had some discussion going on by the community about creating wearables. So we picked that up. We had a voting on the Discord saying, okay, what do you guys want? You want steampunk goggles? You want steampunk ring, or a steampunk time freeze watch? That was the coolest one. I made that one up. So I wanted that one to win, and it did. So, but anyway, so we had them vote on it, and we decided to mint it as well. So it got a bit delayed because of us now partnering with Dropper, but it makes sense, of course. We're going to do that together with them. Also, these things we're gonna mint them soon after the 8th of August, I believe. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Now, one of the things that you sent me with all your graphics was these steamships, and I saw there was one that kind of caught my attention. Can you run us through some of the different iterations of the steamships?
Yeah, so we actually started with one classic airship. And you've got all the pictures of them, of course. And but we saw that a lot of people really like to have special NFTs with different colors and stuff. And so we decided to make a collection as well. So we made an HBAR bull ship as well, just for fun. So and we made a dropper ship as well. So you can see it on the list, of course.
Yeah, it was fun to see.
Yeah, so we have some that are more rare than others. Most of them will be the classic one. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to see how we can also give them special features in the game. But we're not saying too much about that yet because we're a bit undecisive on where to go. We're going to try and make the ships in the game, especially the rarities, look the same. But let's keep that open for discussion still.
Sure. No, makes sense. I'm really looking forward to this. Again, it seems like you've come at gaming on Hedera in a completely different direction. Do you have any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, what I would love to do, because we are really excited about this interview, but we also love the Hedera community. So if you are okay with that, we'd like to drop 5 HBAR Bull airships to your community. You can randomly pick them from your comments. You probably have ways to do that. The only thing that they have to do is follow us on Twitter, come into our Discord, and drop a line below in the comments saying why you want to have an airship. No need to make it fancy. We're not gonna. You're not gonna pick one because he made he's had it in a better way than the other. But just leave a line that you want one, and we would love to drop 5 airships randomly to your community.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, and I'm sure the community will appreciate it. Just go down there in the comments and drop HBAR Bull Airship, and we'll make sure that you get in the running. And again, you have to follow on Discord and Twitter. Patrick, thank you so much for swinging by today. We really appreciate you taking the time.
As do I. Thank you for taking the time for me.
My pleasure.